Madam, gentlemen. Your cousin's enthusiasm is most impressive.
This journey is his long-awaited chance to prove his worth. He has a demanding father.
More likely he's just happy to be free of this hornet's nest.
I definitely know I am. That's certain.
Stations, lads! Wear anchor and ready her to wear! Lively now, lively! Catch me a wind!
Teer Frade! Ahoy!
And so we arrive at the new territories.
What a charming welcoming courtesy. Gentlemen, I am Constantin of House Orsay, your new governor. I have no idea what sort of ceremony you've prepared for my arrival, but I would gladly skip it, so... Indeed, these are rather peculiar customs. I see, it seems you were quite intent on serving me a drink.
The welcome seems a little abrupt.
Hello? Cat got your tongue, gentlemen?
But Lady Morange is at hand to give our little party a suitable welcome.
I am truly sorry these doctors should have shown a greater measure of courtesy. Thank you, dear doctors. Move along, don't trouble the Nords. Pay no attention to them. Instead, just drink. The long voyages at sea require the appropriate treatment as soon as we land. According to our scientists, without fortifiers, you might catch your death, and that would be quite regrettable.
I should have chosen death. This concoction is liquid torture.
I would think that they would have warned you on the ship.
No, not in the slightest. And you must be Lady Morange, my predecessor.
You are correct.
There you are!
To your health.
Aha! You got your dose of bile too. Allow me to present to you Lady Morange, and to you, my dear lady, my most trusted cousin. Where is the captain?
He seems to be preoccupied with some sort of admiral.
Indeed. Then I will have to thank him later for this most marvelous voyage. Excellency, lead me to the palace, I beg you. And, whenever possible, go by way of all the intriguing alleyways. I am dying with impatience to discover this new city. My city!
Your Excellence! We must wait for our escort!
No need.
Know that she and cousin will get on like a house on fire.
Thank you, my lady.
I've been scullied.
How so?
My admiral laid me off.
My cousin was nonetheless delighted with your services. I hope that there was no misunderstanding.
None, I'm sure of it. She just ordered me to give you any assistance you might need.
This request doesn't seem to please you.
Don't take offense, but it's not pleasant for a captain to abandon his ship. In any case, here I am at your service, for a while.
Vasco's been assigned to help in our task. The reasons are unknown, even to him, but the Nords don't do this without good reason. As the saying goes, Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. The Sardet would have to keep a close eye on him. But before we left, we gained level 4. We get one step closer to being able to use all rifles. And increase the damage we do with firearms.
How did you become a Nord?
As you may have guessed, I am sea-given. I was given to the Nords when I was a little child, for a reason I ignore. I think I was originally from the congregation, but I have no memory of my family. I took my first steps on the deck of a ship. That's all I can remember.
New Serene is quite different from old Serene. It's far more rustic, and still obviously establishing itself.
Your Excellency, it is an honor. You'll find all you need in...
Excellency, welcome back to my modest shop. It is an immense honor for me to be of service to such noble clientele.
Where do your products come from?
Most of the products that I sell are made in our beautiful nation. Clothing, boots, hats, all from our own craftsmen, with extraordinary workmanship. Ah, you have certainly noticed the blue in our linings. That is impossible to imitate, and we alone have the secret. Of course, we do ship in some foreign merchandise, most of which comes from Alsard. They are also extremely fond of blue, which makes our trading easier.
How has trade been here? You seem a little off the beaten track.
It is true that we are far from the continent, but we trade a great deal with the other cities on the island. And believe me, to keep our stocks replenished, we take advantage of every ship, no matter its origin. It did take us a while to get things set up properly. We had to convince the Nords not to take advantage of the situation, which was no easy task, and to persuade our associates from other nations that they would also benefit from the trade. But in the end, we are all making profit, for the greatest satisfaction of our clientele.
How is business in general?
I can't really complain. The advantage of selling a little of everything is that we always have buyers. I saw many of my fellow merchants forced to close because of the epidemic. And alas, I lost some really good customers. Practically friends. But those of us who remain need to continue to live. And to buy. And your noble presence here will bring me even more clients. Of that I'm certain.
Progress would take time, but under Constantin's and their Sardet's guidance, it surely would be successful. But there was that little task that had been assigned to Kurt.
Well, I'll be damned, it's Captain Kurt.
Manfred! Still a quartermaster?
Always, as you can see. What can I do for you?
We've come to find you regarding the merchandise that Kurt was taking care of.
Ah, the commander's cargo, yes. I was told that had come in. And so he's got you working on this. Lucky Kurt. It helps to have friends in high places.
Is everything in order?
Alas, no. Our merchandise has been unloaded into one of those dock storehouses. They're well guarded. A little less at night, but in spite of that, we weren't able to get them back.
Since these crates are registered in the ship's manifest, make an official request.
The modification of the manifest might have fooled a quartermaster, but it won't fool the Port Authority. We'd have too many details to explain to them, and our commander would not like that.
What? Is he waiting for us to bring them to him, then?
No, of course not. But Kurt needs to find the right storehouse, as well as a discreet way to get in. And he must also mark the crates that belong to us.
Why is that? They are already marked with an inscription.
Most of the men are illiterate. A coloured mark will stick out for them to find, but they need to be quick about it. They won't have the time to decipher a name.
Not surprisingly, the coin guard has a well-established presence. Security and entertainment in this new land must be in high demand. This is getting stranger. What is in these crates that demands such secrecy? Luckily Vasco has no problem, at the moment at least, with stealing from his guild.
My ship's being used to move your contraband, and now you want to sneak into one of our warehouses.
Kurt was given the order. If we want to help him, we don't have a choice.
I don't like this. But, since I've been sacked, let's just say that this will be a little bit of revenge.
How are we to know in which warehouse we'll find this damn cargo?
I'm afraid we're going to have to take a look at all of them.
That won't be necessary. My entire cargo has been placed in the warehouse closest to my ship. And if you wouldn't mind wearing some Naut clothing, we'll be less suspicious. I would like to avoid fighting with my own. The Nauts are my family.
Here are the crates we've been looking for. It appears that one of them has been broken. It's full of weapons.
That doesn't seem right. It is our clients that supply us weapons on Teer Frade.
You didn't know what was in the crates?
No. I don't concern myself with the commander's business. I should take a look into this. I have some friends here that must know what this is all about.
Let me know what you discover. Now, let's mark these crates and get going. We found a way into the storehouse, and we marked all of the crates.
Perfect. I shall ask my men to follow the same path.
One of the crates was damaged. I was quite surprised by what I found in it.
Really? To be honest with you, the commander never told me what was in them. I received the order to deliver them as soon as Kurt accomplished his mission, without any further instructions.
If you have another moment, Your Excellency, I would like to ask you for your help. We have a serious problem that I did not hear of until recently. A problem that concerns you closely. I was told that some of our soldiers have been extorting large sums of money from the town merchants, under the pretext of financing their protection.
Are you telling me that the Guard is extorting merchants in our city?
Indeed. Some merchants have been assaulted, and one of them has even been found dead.
I hope you don't intend to conceal this information. If my cousin learns of this...
Oh no, certainly not, Your Excellency. We intend to punish the guilty party with the greatest severity. But the merchants refuse to give us the slightest testimony. The Guard frightens them, and rightly so. We won't be able to put a stop to these crimes without outside help.
Count on me. I'll take care of it.
First it's smuggling, now it's racketeering. Maybe the coin guard isn't living up to its high reputation. Or were they always like this? We seem to have reached level 5 however. We can finally select the last perk in the firearms chain. And that means we can use any rifle. That'll pay off in the future. For talents, it's between science and lockpicking, because both will be very useful. We'll take science for the time being, because that will allow us to breach walls and craft potions. The merchants are all frightened to death of the coin guard.
I was told that someone found a merchant's body. Did you know him?
Of course. The town isn't that big. We all know each other here. Poor Renault. We found his body on the street by the port. He was beaten to death. One of his associates half-heartedly took over the shop.
Have the culprits been found?
No. Listen. Nobody wants to talk about this. We don't want any trouble. It's been months since it happened. An investigation's not going to bring him back.
I'm currently investigating an extortion case involving the Guard. Are you one of the merchants who has been threatened?
No, not at all. And I've never heard of this business. Someone must have lied to you.
Really? Come on. If you want these guards to be arrested, you need to talk to me.
I mean no offense, but you won't be able to do anything. And snitching don't end well. I want to hold on to my business. And my life. How about some new armor, Your Excellency?
You are obviously a victim of these bandits. One of your people is dead. Yet you refuse to help me. Why?
It's precisely because one of our people is dead. Now, you can either buy something or let me get back to work. because I am not going to say one more word about this case.
The law of silence
in
is
Teer
at work.
Frade!
Nobody saw anything.
Blades,
Nobody knows
armour,
anything.
locks, custom pieces made to order.
That's truly concerning, because the Congregation of Merchants relies on the loyalty of the Coin Guard to maintain the security merchants need.
Come closer, good people. Liqueur and wine from the continent. Teer Frade alcohol. Madam, I am pleased to welcome you to the best wine and spirit shop in Teer Frade. If you're looking for something to accompany a fine meal, or for a gift for someone, you've come to the right place.
Thank you, but I'm not here for that. I was told a merchant had been found dead.
Really? Oh, I didn't know. No one told me about that. What was his name?
Come on, don't take me for a fool. You know very well who I'm talking about.
I don't? Really? I don't. So, what sort of wine would you like to pair your food with? You need something strong when eating game?
I am conducting an investigation. Some merchants are being extorted by members of the Guard.
Are you sure? It's probably just a nasty rumour. Someone must have misinformed you.
Come now. I am the legate of the congregation. If guards threaten you, I could arrange protection for you.
Threats? No, I assure you.
You're obviously terrified. Don't you think it's better to tell me everything?
Listen, I've no desire to get into trouble. Please leave me.
But if you don't help me, you will never be rid of these guards.
I told you, I don't know what you're talking about.
If they're extorting merchants, then that means the colonists' sustainability will be at risk. They finally find a merchant who's willing to talk.
Are your boots worn through? Is your hat out of style?
I am conducting an investigation. Apparently some merchants are being extorted by some members of the Guard.
Really? That's terrible, Your Excellency.
As legate, it is my duty to ensure the safety and well-being of the citizens of our town. So please, if you have any information...
I don't know anything. Really. I have only been here for a few months. My partner, who ran the shop before me, had a very bad encounter.
And you fear the same thing happening to you?
This is what happens around here. So I prefer to hold my tongue and do what is expected of me.
If you denounce them, we could end this and charge these men for their crime.
I can't take that risk. There are so many of them. Also, I would not be able to name them. Now, I would like to get back to my work. What we need is the money to return. Do you understand? We are very monitored.
I have a plan to stop the culprits, but I'm going to need your help. The next time one of these guards comes to squeeze money out of you, you must ask for more time. The man will threaten you, of course, and he will certainly bring his accomplices. But when they come back in full force to make you pay for your audacity, we will be there to apprehend them.
And if your plan fails, I'll end up like Renault. You don't understand.
Are you not tired of giving them a share of your profits? And do you not want to avenge your partner?
Poor Renault. He didn't deserve it. Perhaps you're right, and we need to act. I will do what you ask of me. But for God's sake, when they threaten me, intervene right away.
Fear not. We will not let them harm you. When should they be returning?
It's hard to predict. Given their habits, I would say in 2 days, maybe?
Perfect. I will not fail you.
It's critically important that we're around when the Racketeers come. These are all weighty matters. But the Sardet must also see how her cousin is settling in at his new abode.
Atuoi, sien sradi dau quint. Dadagudach me in.
Attention, soldier.
Let me pass. I must see the chief of your village. Whatever could be so funny?
Now, who would you be to seek an audience with the governor?
I am Siora, daughter of Bladnid. My mother is Amal, the chief of our clan. I am here as an emissary of my people, and I must see your chief, your governor.
And so you're a princess, then?
A what?
Let her pass. Your Majesty, I shall present you to the governor. Come.
Princess, Majesty, you are most confusing. But thank you for your help.
Despite the rustic style of the town, as a whole, the palace seems to have received quite a lot of attention. The marbled floor and paintings imported from old Serene attest to that. Clearly the colony was financially profitable, though it remained to be seen if later Morange had been as diligent in forwarding those profits to her uncle.
There you are, fair cousin. What is this? Who is this amazing person in your company?
I am Siora, daughter of Bladnid, daughter of Meb. My mother is the Mal, the chief of our clan.
I am honored to make your acquaintance, Siora. This is incredible. You look so much alike you could be related. If you would allow me, Princess, I would like to confer a mission to my cousin. You need to visit the governors of the bridge and Teleme to give them my formal regards, that sort of thing, but also to discover what they've managed to learn. They've been here much longer than we have. Perhaps they've made some inroads to finding a cure for the Malachor.
Forgive me, Mal, but I have a request for you. My people needs your help.
I thought we might discuss matters together at leisure, but please, speak your piece.
The Lions, the Bridge Alliance and my people are at war. My mother has sent me to you in search of allies. I fear that without your help, our clan will suffer great horrors. We have already lost so many souls.
This seems a sensible request. You know, though, we cannot go to war with our neighbors.
Perhaps there is a way to negotiate a ceasefire. The time to see things more clearly.
Excellent idea. I would be completely lost without you. Go and parley with, the Queen, fair cousin. Try and put an end to confrontations for the time being.
I will come with you. It will take more than one person to convince my mother to lay down our weapons.
Perfect. Take Kurt along with you and anyone you feel useful. I've been told that the roads are not safe. Safe travels, fair cousin. And watch out for yourself. I wouldn't want anything bad to happen to you.
Siora speaking up seems to have emboldened Kurt to speak up as well.
Greenblood, there's something I would like to talk to you about.
I'm listening.
I recruited a young man for the guard a few months ago. Talented. Very talented. And honorable. I've been tracking his progress, and I learned that he's been sent to the barracks in New Serene. I would like you to meet him so that you can give me your opinion.
My opinion? On what?
Ever since our departure from Serene, I've spent nearly every second at your side. But I have clear standing orders to assure the protection of Constantin. And I don't know his guards. Not well, in any case.
I see. You've been thinking this recruit might be a suitable personal guard.
Precisely. And your opinion has weight.
But of course. Let's go.
Raina must be with the other recruits in the barracks.
I had thought you a lone wolf with only our good friend in your pack. But I was mistaken.
I am full of surprises, pretty she-wolf.
Constantin had remarked on our resemblance to Siora. Was he the only one who saw it?
The first time you saw me, did you really think I was a native?
Aside from the way you dress, you resemble a native. I have never seen an Onol Manawi amongst the Renagse before. Is it so surprising that I made this mistake?
No, but I find it unsettling. On the continent, everyone looked at me as if I was this strange beast. And here, people think that I'm a native, despite the fact that I know almost nothing of your culture.
I understand that it might be a strange experience, but you should wear these marks with pride. Because they are the marks of the Onol Manawi. Those whose flesh is bonded to Teer Frade. This makes us closer.
I've never heard you talk about your father. Who was he?
He was the Donegad of our clan. He died many cycles ago, but this memory is still painful. So we usually avoid the subject.
What happened to him?
He was killed as he tried to escape the lions who wanted to capture him. My mother never really recovered from it. This is one of the reasons why she decided to go to war.
The Sardet had learned of the conflict between the locals of the island and the Bridge Alliance, but it seems that it was more severe than she'd been advised.
De Sardet, do you have a moment?
It seems that everybody is seeking her rear.
Thank you for coming. I know that you're very busy, but I need your help.
I'm listening, sir.
This island is vast, and we only know a tiny part of it. As you know, your uncle has asked me to draw maps to facilitate the merchants' travels. Alas, I'm slightly too old to be roaming the paths, setting up camps here and there. So I'd appreciate it if, as you travel, you mark the places you deem to be safe on your map.
Very well. I will take care of it, Professor.
One more thing. Do you remember that gigantic creature that you defeated in Serene? Bringing a specimen to the city was obviously not a good idea. An accident was inevitable. But according to my sources, there are others of them on this island, and your uncle wishes to know more about them. I know that a scholar of the Alliance, Professor Serene, has also taken an interest in these creatures. I tried to contact him, but apparently he disappeared during an expedition to study them. Naturally, I cannot ask you to rummage through the entire island looking for him, but if you can find any trace of him, his studies on these giant creatures could be immensely useful.
Very well. If I find anything out, I'll let you know.
The road to knowledge is long and difficult, but this is the price of wisdom, de Sardet.
Why not? She was probably going to travel everywhere anyway. And who knows, maybe this professor has some knowledge that will be helpful to defeating those beasts should they be a threat to the colony. But all that adventure would have to wait until the Sardet had had a chance to look over the domicile assigned to her. Turns out that Vasco had also been itching to ask for help.
De Sardet, I have a favor to ask.
Very well. I'm listening.
Do you remember the story of Jonah?
Of course.
Well, I'm like him. A donation to the sea. My family also gave me to the Nords. I don't know anything about my real family except that they are probably affluent and from the congregation. When I was born, the Nords and the merchant princes had a complex relationship. I must have been used to settle a debt or forge a truce, but that doesn't matter. The mystery of my origins has now become an obsession. I need to know where I come from. If I were patient enough, I'd wait to become a fleet commander and then I would be told. But since being laid off, such a promotion seems somewhat improbable.
And you want me to help you find this information?
You understand correctly. The records of all seamen stationed on the island are in their respective ports. Mine must be in the harbor office in New Serene, and it must contain my family name. But if I go there, I'd be spotted right away.
The new coin guard recruits are green, but eager to please.
Good day, soldiers.
Your Excellency.
Captain.
Soldiers.
May we be of service?
Rank and assignment, soldiers.
Recruit, first class, Blue Silver Regiment, 8th Company, Your Excellency.
The Blue Silver Regiment is made up of men attributed to serve the Congregation of Merchants. I'm one of them, and the 8th Company was sent to Teer Frade with 2 other companies.
What is your charge?
Maintain order in the city, Excellency.
I'm looking for the soldier, Rayner. Is he in the barracks?
I never heard that name before, Captain.
Never heard the name, Captain.
That's strange. I'm certain he was sent here.
Maybe he's been moved since then. When was the last time you'd heard news of him?
In Serene, just before our departure. But that's been a couple of months.
If I may, Captain, should I have a word with the quartermaster?
That's right, Captain. He has a register with the affectations of every recruit in the Blue Silver Regiment.
At ease, soldiers. I've been looking for one of my recruits. Goes by the name of Rayner. I would like for His Excellency to meet him.
Rayner? I'm sorry, Kurt. I thought you'd been informed.
Informed about what?
He is dead. He was found, drowned in the port harbour day before yesterday. I was told he had too much to drink and fell in. I'm extremely sorry, Kurt. The young men drink more than they can handle when they're on leave.
That's bollocks. That lad isn't the sort to sully himself with drink. I don't believe it.
People change. When they're far from home, the lads have little else to do.
I still don't believe it.
Listen, you might as well go and ask the doctor down in the morgue. I might have misunderstood what was reported to me. Those doctors use such long words for simple things.
Excellent idea. At least you'll see it for yourself.
You're right. Let's go.
Well now, a visit.
Whatever is a Doctor of the Bridge Alliance doing in the barracks of the new Serene Coin Guard?
I was posted here from the University of Al-Sad, as per their agreement with the Guard.
Agreement? What sort of agreement?
The Guard requested dedicated doctors for the care of their troops. The University accepted under 2 conditions. That the doctors practice only in the territories of the Bridge or her allies, and that we have the privilege of examining all of their corpses, in the interest of anatomical study. These requests were made official thanks to the Agreement Charter, and I must say we have been able to increase our knowledge of anatomy immensely.
We are here concerning the matter of Recruit Rayner.
Are you family or friends?
You could say that. I'm the one who recruited the lad.
I see. Well, what I can do is tell you what I can.
Can you tell me anything about the circumstances?
All I know is what I was told by the fellows who brought the body to me. They said they'd spent the evening together at the tavern, that they'd had a great deal to drink. A horrid habit the soldiers all seemed to share.
Rayner was not a drinker.
Maybe not. All the same, he was drinking that night. He stepped outside for a moment and never came back in. His companions found him drowned in the bay early morn, and they brought him to me.
How then did he die, in your opinion?
He drowned. I'm sorry. It's regrettable. He was quite a young man.
Yeah, and his death makes no sense. He didn't drink, and he knew how to swim.
Might we take a look at the body?
No, I wouldn't recommend that. To see your friend in such a state.
I'm a soldier, Doc. I've seen a number of men in pieces. Let me see the young lad.
I regret, Captain, I cannot allow that.
I have as of yet to present myself. I'm Lady de Sardet, legate of the Congregation of Merchants on Teer Frade. And as the title infers, I have the power to inspect this barracks and all that it contains. Therefore, I must insist.
I see. 1,000 pardons, Excellency. I should have recognized you and shown more respect. It's the body in the middle. Examine him if you must, but please be so kind as to not leave a mess after you.
This one is just a boy. His face is still locked in an expression of pain. Kurt, is this your recruit?
Yes, that's my Rayner. Poor kid. I should have left him with his family where he was.
We'll need to examine the body to learn more. Is that all right?
He's not the first young man I've seen with the lights gone from his eyes. Go on.
I'm no doctor, but this boy doesn't seem to have drowned at all. It looks like he's been beaten. It's suspicious.
The boy I knew would never have drunk himself senseless to the point he'd fall into the bay, I'm telling you.
I believe you, Kurt. But if we want to prove it, we'll need to find more evidence.
While we lack the scientific knowledge to assess Rayner directly, the doctor has helpfully left his notes where we can read them.
Excuse me, Doctor, but you owe us a few explanations. This boy did not die by drowning.
It is absolutely the cause of death, I assure you. The science of death is a complex art, and you are certainly not a doctor.
That is true, but you are. Do you recognize your own notes? Your writing is hard to read, but the word drowning never appears.
What an idiot. I should have burned those notes. I am truly sorry. I swear I have never, ever falsified a report before. But I was given no choice in the matter.
How's that? What are you talking about?
2 men, lieutenants I believe, brought a body to me telling me the boy had drowned in an accident. I saw immediately this was a lie, but I did not push the matter. I began my examination, planning to submit my report to the quartermaster as per usual. But the men returned. I was told to forget what I'd discovered and say that he had indeed drowned, or else.
Who were they?
I have no idea. I had never seen them before at the barracks. I guessed their rank by their uniforms.
What colours were they sporting?
None. They must have removed the emblems of their regiment. Listen, it's obvious that this boy was beaten repetitively, and that was the cause of death. I have no intention of suffering the same fate.
Have no fear, Doctor. We will make no mention of your name.
My condolences, Kurt. I'm truly sorry. I know the pain of losing a crew member.
Thank you, Vasco. We have a situation, Manfred. Raynor didn't drown. The doctor falsified his report. He was threatened and feared for his own life.
You have to be pulling me leg. Who bullied the crowface?
Lieutenants that he didn't recognize, alas, and who wore no regiment emblems.
Which regiment was Raynor assigned to? I would like to have a word with his commanding officer.
Let me have a look at the register. My memory isn't what it once was. Stab my heart with a rusty blade. His name's been crossed out. Oh, if I catch the bastard that did that.
What mess was the boy into, Manfred? What could this be about?
Your lad was in the 6th or maybe the 11th, before being reassigned to who knows where.
Just like that? You out of everyone have to know where the recruits are assigned.
Not of late. This isn't the first lad who's been reassigned all of a sudden at the drop of a hat. Each time I start complaining about it, I'm told they've changed regiments, and it's not my concern.
Something truly bizarre is going on here. I don't like this at all.
Let's try and discover which company he was stationed at before this mysterious reassignment.
I need to get to the bottom of this mystery, Greenblood. I don't like being taken for a fool. Even if the lieutenants weren't stationed at these barracks, someone here must know where Raynor was assigned.
We should also go and check the tavern. Men on leave will perhaps have looser lips than those within the walls.
This is extremely suspicious. Firstly, the recruits don't know of Raynor. He's found dead. The doctor is being threatened into falsifying his reports. And now there's a secret regiment in the coin guard. This doesn't happen without orders from high up.
Good day, soldier.
Good day, my lady.
De Sardet, legate of the congregation on Teer Frade.
Captain Kurt.
Oh, excuse me, Excellency. I didn't know. Captain, I truly am sorry. At your service, my lady. Excellency.
Since you know who we are, present yourself, soldier.
Ah, yes, my lady. Recruit 2nd Class Alric, Blue Silver Regiment, 11th Company. At your service.
You don't quite look like you've got the hang of all this. How long have you been in?
Is it that obvious?
It's quite normal for a new recruit.
I joined up 4 months ago. But at the beginning, we were on board ship, you see. I don't know if that really counts. I started exercises when we got to New Serene. But I'm making progress, they say.
And do you like it here?
I sure do. That's why I joined the Guard. To come here, to leave the continent. Know what I mean?
I do.
Excellency!
I saw you in the palace, if I'm not mistaken.
Your Excellency has a good eye and memory. I am one of the officers, in charge of the protection of your cousin's councillors. How can I help you?
You said you were responsible for the protection of my cousin's councillors.
That's right, Your Excellency. It's my assignment. When I'm not on leave, that is.
And what sort of work do you carry out, exactly?
Essentially to assure that every one of those prestigious persons is accompanied by a guard. But I also have to follow and verify their personnel. Valets, chambermaids, secretaries.
And is everything in order? One of our councillors is an old professor of mine. You know how it is.
All is as should be expected, Excellency. Lord de Cassillon is in good hands, rest assured.
We are investigating the death of a young recruit. A certain Raynor.
I've never heard the name before. He's not one of my men.
I know. But you might at least have heard someone mention him in passing.
Did he die at the palace?
No. We have no idea where it happened, only where the body was found. So?
I'm sorry. That doesn't ring any bells. None at all.
I recruited the lad myself, Lieutenant. And just a while ago, I saw his body broken and bruised in the morgue. Someone has been trying to cover this up, to lead us down false trails at every turn. But Raina deserves justice. I know you have to understand that.
I hear you. The murder of one of our own should not go unpunished. But alas, I don't know how I can help you. This is the first I've heard about it.
Good day, Lieutenant.
Milady, you're one of the governor's confidants, are you not?
Indeed. De Sardet, the governor's legate.
My sincere pardon, Excellency. I didn't want to show any disrespect. Captain?
Lieutenant.
How can I help you?
To which company do you belong?
The 8th. We're responsible for city security.
Some of the men of this company are under my orders, charged to protect the palace.
I'm personally in charge of the port and the surrounding streets. When I'm not on leave, that is.
Are you also in charge of criminal matters? Investigations?
No, Excellency. But an officer of my company is in charge.
We seek information concerning a young recruit. A certain Raina.
Raina? Sorry, name isn't familiar to me. He must be with another company.
Are you sure about that? This is an important matter.
I'm certain, Captain. Was he family to you?
I recruited him. You know what that's like. The boy was killed and then tossed in the bay. I want the head of whoever's responsible.
I did hear talk of a young lad found in the port waters. That's my sector. But I was told that it was an accident, and I had no reason to doubt it. Are you sure the lad was murdered?
Absolutely certain. Beaten to death, to be precise.
That's horrible. But I don't know anything about it.
Here. You seem tired and a little on edge. A drink would do you some good.
It's just that I don't know if I'm allowed.
You're on leave, or you wouldn't be at the tavern. And why not?
Yes, but this is His Excellency's own bottle. I don't know if I can.
Drink, I tell you.
Now then, why don't you tell us what you know about Raina?
Oh, I didn't serve with him. Well, not really. We just crossed paths. He was leaving the 11th when I joined. Everyone said he was good, strong, and, followed orders. And then, poof. Lieutenant got this order, and he wasn't happy. And I mean really quite unhappy. And then Raina, he was gone. We never saw him again. We asked where he'd been sent, but the lieutenant didn't want to tell us. Said that it was none of our business. But you, he won't be able to say no to you. You should go and offer him a drink too.
Thank you. And watch yourself when leaving. Wouldn't want you to fall into the bay. Hello. We've not yet been introduced. De Sardet, legate of the congregation.
I've heard of you. Captain Ulrich. I manage this barracks. What can I do for you, Your Excellency?
What does your role involve?
Each barracks must be headed by a senior officer. It's a matter of dividing the men between the different squadrons, assigning the missions, and so on. It is unfortunately a monotonous and laborious job that is entrusted to officers who are considered too old for the field.
Hello, officer.
Excellency.
We are concerned about the death of a young recruit named Raina.
Let's be perfectly straight. We know that Raina belonged to your company. And as the acting lieutenant instructor, you certainly had him under your command. So just stop with the lies. We've lost enough time here.
You know what they say? Guard business is well guarded.
And concerns only the guard. Now, unless you've lost your eyesight, you've a captain in front of you.
I know. But this story is dangerous, Captain.
If you have so much as an ounce of respect for the boy, speak to us. Don't you believe he deserves justice?
Yes, of course. But you have no idea what's been going on here. If word got round that I've been talking, come back after sundown, when there's fewer folk.
Very well. We'll be back.
Your crew has the scurvy, Kurt, and they're dying from fear.
I must agree, sailor, and I don't like it one bit.
At least the lieutenant's willing to speak, even if he does want us to wait until it's dark. In the meantime, we can explore the city in more leisure. Lady Morange, the former governor, can give us some broad information on the town and the island.
Good day, Lady Morange. Do you remember me?
Of course, Lady de Sardet, isn't it? I hope that you and your cousin have grown to like it here. But I have little reason to believe you have paid me a visit to exchange civilities. Can I be of service?
What can you tell me about New Serene?
It's a new city whose construction began not long ago. When I arrived 5 years ago, there was just a port, a fence, and some huts here. The businesses, the barracks of the guard, the palace, and all of the houses sort of sprung up from the ground. To see how impressive it is today, even if it is still far from its majestic mother, is incredible. Of course, with such expanse, all kinds of bandits, drunkards, and other lowlife have arrived. But I'm very proud of it, in spite of everything. I hope that your cousin continues this work.
What do you know about this island?
Much less than I would like. The land is still wild and extremely rich. Its soils are full of minerals, some of which are unknown to us. With regard to the flora and fauna, you've probably seen how different the creatures and plants are here. The islanders protect their land fiercely, and we cannot begrudge them that. When you see what we have done with our own, well, such a source of richness attracts greed.
You seem interested in the islanders.
As a matter of fact, I find their culture fascinating, but I can't say I know much about them. They are quite secretive and protect their cult and traditions from the curiosity of strangers. I know that their sages, they call them Donegada, are the guardians of their rituals as well as of the island. They have very strong links with nature and the creatures that inhabit it. They're also good healers. I could talk about them for hours, but you will learn more from the islanders themselves.
What can you tell me about the relations we have with other nations?
We play a difficult role, caught between these two enemy nations who are nonetheless our allies. The smallest action could tip the balance and draw us into their conflict. If I may offer some advice, be very careful. We do not want a war to break out here.
If she's holding a grudge for being replaced, she's not showing it. There's a commotion at the markets, as one of the locals seems to have set up his stall.
Can you help me? Teer Frade on Olmenawi. Why are you dressed like this?
Hello. I'm not one of your people. I'm the legate of the merchant congregation.
A legate? Is that someone important?
Indeed. I'm in charge of diplomatic relationships with other nations.
So you'll be able to help me. My chief sent me to trade some items with your village, but there are these Bod Irony who do not want me to set up shop here.
These what?
Bod Irony. The Ironbacks. The warriors who protect this village. Every time I come, they take my items without giving me anything in exchange. Please, I don't understand how things work here.
Very well. Stay here, I'll try to clear this up.
Adlo Redar on Olmenawi. May the earth always be sturdy under your footsteps.
He also seems to mistake de Sardet for a local. This is becoming a pattern. It's odd that the coin guard will confiscate the goods, but it does not seem related to the racketeering of the other merchants. Either way, Manfred might be able to shed some light on what's happened.
I met an islander in the streets who was complaining to me about the guard's behavior.
Really?
It would seem that patrols have confiscated the goods he was hoping to sell several times.
Oh, I see. Indeed, I've been told about this man. The problem, Your Excellency, is that our orders are strict. Merchants who do not have a patent ratified by the minister cannot sell their goods in the street. And since your islander doesn't have one, I doubt he even knows what it is, my men have no choice but to confiscate his knickknacks.
I see. Thanks for clarifying that. I'll talk to the minister.
A permit should be pretty easy to obtain. After all, the Congregation of Merchants is all about mercantile trade. And as legate, she has a duty to foster good relations with the locals.
Minister.
Your Excellency, it is always an honor. How may I serve you?
What exactly is your role here?
I am tasked with advising Governor Constantin about business matters, and I make sure that all business contracts are established properly and are favorable to us. I am responsible for setting taxes on goods based on their value, among other things. It is an exciting job that requires the utmost care.
I would like to talk to you about an islander who is trying to set up shop in our city. Since he doesn't have a patent, his wares get confiscated as soon as he receives them.
And you want me to provide him with the said patent? I would be delighted to show you the procedure to follow so that we may study his request. You'll understand that we cannot give an authorization without having determined the value of the goods beforehand. We must determine the tax rate according to this value, determine the best emplacement for this business. In short, these things take time. A lot of time.
I'm certain that my cousin will be delighted to hear that our relations with the natives are progressing in a significant way. And he will probably be very grateful to the minister who helped their first merchant set up shop in our city.
Indeed. I seem to recall reading a circular on the necessity of establishing good relations with the natives. We could accelerate things by leaving some formalities for later.
I would think so too.
Very well. In that case, here's the patent that will allow your protege to legally pursue his activity in the city. You should give him this copy. The other one will be kept in the archives. However, one of my representatives will visit his stall for the estimation and to determine the tax rate in accordance with the...
Thanks a lot, Minister. Looking forward to seeing you again.
Bureaucrats were always inclined to focus on long-winded and complicated processes to make themselves feel important. And Sardet knew that dangling the prospect of ingratiating himself to the new governor would be like grease to the minister's gears. But is anything ever simple?
You came back! Something terrible happened!
What is it? I was just bringing you the patent you needed to set up shop.
The Bod Irony came back, and they took my cousin away! He came to bring us animal pelts and new objects from the village. But the warriors came back. They took everything he was bringing me. And they also took him. Oh, I don't know what they will do with him. Please, bring him back to me.
I don't see why they would have arrested your cousin, but I'll try to find out. I've come to see you again to talk about the islander merchant. I managed to obtain a license for him, but he informed me that while I was taking care of this, his cousin, who was making a delivery for him, was arrested.
I'm sorry, Your Excellency. Especially considering you've managed to obtain an official authorization for him. I'm afraid my men ran out of patience when they saw this hunter making deliveries for the merchant again. They wanted to confiscate his cargo, but the lad resisted, and he was thrown in jail for disorderly conduct. If you want to set him free, that's where you must go. Sorry, again, Your Excellency. I should have known you'd managed to obtain the necessary license for your protege and told the patrol.
Sardet still wasn't sure about Manfred. Kurt thought highly of him, so that weighed in his favor. But despite being quartermaster, he didn't seem to have much actual control of his responsibilities. His books were being changed without his knowledge. There was a secret regiment, and now the patrol had instigated an incident with the locals. This despite knowing that Sardet was obtaining a permit. Was he simply failing in his duties, or was he feigning? He told Sardet about the racketeering, so he wasn't part of that at least. Kurt might just have a complex about his height. He seemed tall enough, so why stand on a chair?
I'm looking for a prisoner. A native who should have been brought here recently.
You're a bit late. He was sent to fight in the arena.
In the arena? So this man was judged? Who pronounced the sentence?
Whoa there! Do you really think that we would organize a proper trial for a savage? He attacked some guards. He's lucky he wasn't gunned down right there and then. At least in the arena, he has a chance of survival since apparently he's a hunter.
This man was only defending the goods he was bringing to his cousin. And now he has to fight for his life.
I have no hand in this. I'm not the one who made this decision. They brought him here and then they took him away, that's all.
What did you do with the goods he had with him?
They got confiscated, put in the storeroom like all the rest.
The guard really seemed to be taking liberties. Sending the hunter to the arena was akin to sentencing him to death, without a trial, unless you count this as a trial by combat. Their Sardet needed to rescue him before irreparable damage was done to relations with his tribe. The fight organizer was the youngest old man she'd ever come across.
Good day! Interested in making a little wager? Unless you'd rather fight.
Is this your first time?
It is.
Excellent. The crowd just loves to see new faces.
I wish to fight alongside the island hunter that was captured.
Really? You'd have to go in alone. Your friends will need to stay in the stands. Are you sure that this prisoner is worth risking your life for?
This man has been the victim of terrible injustice. I cannot stand aside without doing anything.
Oh, that's extremely noble of you. But it's just the sort of crazy idea that the crowd loves. What a show! You've won the affections of the crowd. And when the crowd makes a decision, it gets what it wants. You're free, prisoner.
I owe you my life, Onol Manawi. Blessed be the winds that have blown you to my side. By what name should I address you?
My name is de Sardet. In fact, it's your cousin the merchant that sent me.
I'm glad to see you again. Oi, Ven! I'm so glad to see you alive.
Then you must thank this Onol Manawi. He fought to save me.
Thank you. May the grass always be soft beneath your feet.
Don't mention it. I also brought you back your goods.
May the trees always bear you fruit. We owe you a lot. You should go see Ulan, the chief of Vignamri, my village. He wants to be friends with the Renaigse. Since you are a legate, you could talk to him.
Now the merchant had his permit, and his cousin had been saved from a grisly fate at the arena. The natives would speak, and hopefully they would speak well of their Sardet and the congregation. It was now dark enough that the officer should be willing to speak to her.
We are quite alone now. You may speak to us.
Raina was indeed a member of my company, and an excellent recruit. But you already know that.
Continue.
One morning, I got a note telling me he'd been transferred from my company. He'd received a new assignment. I was so furious that I did my own little investigation. To see where he'd been sent wasn't easy. No one wanted to give me answers. No one seemed to know anything. But one thing's for certain.
Rainer wasn't the only man to have disappeared. I learned that a good many recruits, all the cream of the crop, had been reassigned. And finally, I learned about the existence of a phantom regiment.
What sort of nonsense are you talking about?
A sort of secret, elite company that were following a special training program.
Where can we find them?
I've no idea. I had to put my investigation to rest. Things were getting dangerous. I began to sense I was being watched. This regiment protects its secrets at all costs with few scruples. If you want to know more, the training officer of the 6th might know something. It's been said that he took part in one of their missions, alongside them.
Are you certain you've nothing more to tell me about this infamous secret regiment?
I've told you everything I know, at the risk of ending up like Rainer, Excellency. Go and see the officer of the 6th if you want to learn more. And leave me alone now.
Good day, Lieutenant. Tell me about the Phantom Regiment.
About what? I have no idea what you're talking about, Your Excellency.
Kurt can pull rank over the officer, but it does engender some bad feelings.
Are you certain you don't know where this Phantom Regiment camp can be found?
Absolutely certain. And to be honest, I hope I never hear about this matter again.
Rainer was one of my recruits, Lieutenant. A young man that I admired. He was killed. His death was disguised. We've been lied to time and time again. Thanks to my friend, we finally learned that the boy had rejoined the Phantom Regiment. And so now, you're gonna tell me all you know without being a weasel about it. Trust me, you don't want me to lose my nerve.
But, Captain,
Now!
Better to gain his cooperation by appealing to the Coin Guard's honor.
Hear what you're talking about, Your Excellency.
Come now, Lieutenant. You do realize that the activities of this regiment are particularly suspicious. Secrets, threats, fabrications, and maybe even an assassination. This resembles more the pursuits of a criminal organization than the honorable Coin Guard. Am I to conclude that you are involved?
No. No. I assure you that isn't the case.
So then tell me what you know about the regiment.
I've seen the regiment. Even fought beside them on an operation. On that occasion, our marching orders were kept secret until the last minute. We were asked to remove our regiment emblems, and our pay wasn't even recorded. And of course, we were ordered to speak to no one about it under any circumstances. I hope you realize the risk I'm taking, talking to you about all this.
Have no fear. We understand. What was this operation?
An attack. A lightning strike. On a caravan from the Bridge Alliance.
Marvelous. A company that behaves like back-alley bandits.
I know. It really shakes up the honor code. The regiment is made up of young recruits, carefully chosen. Only the best make it through. The training is extremely arduous. And my guess is that Rainer isn't the only one who's died from it. I know that they set up camp just outside the city, where the men live and train. But I'd be at a loss to tell you precisely where it's found. Sorry, Captain.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
This story is making me sick. Poor Rainer. If I'd have known, I'd never have recruited him.
I'm sorry, Kurt.
This isn't your doing. But these filthy phantoms, or whatever they are gonna have to settle the debt. Believe me.
You do realize that your own commander is certainly involved in this on some level. Outright clandestine operations could not have taken place without his approval.
That he's aware of the existence of the regiment, there is no doubt. That he approves of what they're doing. It wouldn't be the first head that didn't know what his hands were up to.
What do you wish to do now?
I'm gonna find the location of this camp. I have a few friends that can certainly help us. And when I know where to smoke out these bastards, I'll go and have a few fiery words. If you were of a mind to accompany me, 2 of us would not be too many to make sure they settle their debts.
Let me know when you discover where they are to be found.
You can count on me.
The secret regiment that was being assembled without the knowledge of the rest of the Coin Guard stank to high heaven. What was it being assembled for? It clearly posed a threat to the security of the colony, and then Sardet would be well within her rights to go to her cousin. But it would be better to leave Kurt to make discreet inquiries and obtain more concrete proof before confronting the commander. The team spent some time familiarizing themselves with the area around the town.
Bit of poison on my blade. Then let's go! Move away! Things are about to get dicey!
And there were plenty of dangers to remind her that this wasn't yet a settled and peaceful land like old Serene. It would be good to take care of Vasco's request before setting off to explore the island. After all, the note records were in the warehouse right here.
Here we are. We have a good view from here. The harbour office is well guarded, both outside and inside. Getting through the main entrance is impossible.
There must be a blind spot. There's always one.
You could dress as a knot and go through the back door, but someone may recognize you inside.
I'll need to be much more discreet. A potion could help me.
That is an option, yes, but since I'd rather avoid hurting any knots, I made some inquiries. The harbour office has an arrangement with Teer from the brothel. Girls come every night with wine.
I see. You want us to spike the wine so that they sleep during our search?
It's a proven technique. And I can assure you, they do not sniff the wine before drinking it.
Right. Let's get a sleeping potion. It seems like you are sending girls and wine to the harbour office every night.
So, there's no law against that, is there?
No, and I'm not here to stop you.
Listen, Teer, we just wanted to add a secret ingredient to your wine tonight.
What? Are you joking? Are you trying to slip a laxative in it?
We were thinking more of sleeping pills. Nothing bad, you see.
Listen, I have nothing against a little prank, but I can't risk losing my best customers.
My friends kindly asked you for a simple favor, Lieutenant. But if you prefer orders, we can do it that way too.
So then, we agree?
Yes, that's fine. Tonight your friends will receive their delivery, seasoned.
Thanks to Teer, you should be able to slip into the harbour master's office after dark. But you should still dress as one of us, just to make sure you avoid confrontation.
Good idea. I'll see to it.
Given that the coin guard's loyalty was not certain, it would be wise to explore the palace in order to ensure her cousin's safety, should assailants ever make it past the guards. The servants always knew what was happening in a palace better than anyone else. So that's a good place to start.
It's blocked.
Despite the jolly and happy-go-lucky demeanor her cousin had cultivated, every so often his mask cracked, and glimpses of a deep melancholy would slip through. Especially when it came to his parents, who he seemed to think were both disinterested and disappointed in him.
Any news of your parents?
No. With the time it takes to travel to the continent, it's not surprising. But I don't miss them. My father's next letter will certainly be full of his usual disdain. As for my mother, you know her. She's probably too busy planning her next assassination to have noticed my absence.
In many ways, he was just as much an outsider as Teer Frade, and that had drawn them together when they were children. She knew that he needed her protection. Sir de Cousillon provided some background to Lady Morange's replacement.
What do you know about Lady Morange?
Laurine de Morange is a brilliant woman. The work that she has accomplished here is remarkable.
In that case, why did the prince strip her of her governor status?
For political reasons, obviously. Allowing someone so brilliant to govern a distant city for too long is not without risks. She may eventually have whims of independence. What's more, the prince was looking for a position where your cousin could learn his responsibilities. This governor position seemed ideal.
What can you tell me about the congregation's status on the island?
Well, thanks to Lady Morange's excellent work, our situation is rather comfortable. Our young city is expanding, new villages and cultivations are starting to emerge, and unlike our neighbors, we have managed to develop rather positive relations with the natives. I hope that our new governor will continue in this direction.
She was clearly a very talented woman. This confirmation of Lady Morange's brilliance did nothing but strengthen the Sardet's caution about her. Being replaced because she was so talented ran a good chance of fostering resentment. She'd gotten a taste of the arena when helping the native hunter, and it was a good opportunity to sharpen the skills of her team.
My lords and ladies, here is a new team of fighters, taking to our proud arena. Give them a hearty welcome!
Bit of poison on my blade. Then let's go! Move away! Things are about to get dicey! I need healing!
It's not just their Sardet that knows how to use guns. It was critical to focus on enemy gunners. The beasts in this island had thick hides, thick enough to equal a plague cuirass. The Sardet would have to ensure that she always kept her ammunition stocks high, because her thin rapier did nothing but scratch them.
Move away! Things...
Excellent. And the public really appreciated it. Now that was a challenge well won.
That had been a tough outing, and it was only the first challenge. There were still 6 more to go, but it had given her a feel for how dangerous the island was. The second challenge was far more difficult. She'd have to improve her skills before she was able to best it. It was time to check in with the shopkeeper.
So, did they take the bait?
Yes, Your Excellency. And I am very happy to see you. One of them came to the shop yesterday. He gave me 24 hours to raise the money required, which means that the entire gang could appear any minute now.
Perfect. I'll hide and wait for their arrival. And rest assured, I will not let them go.
I hope you have what we're looking for, my good friend. Our man with the silver coin is not known for his patience.
Well, I moved heaven and earth to collect the sum, but alas, I ran out of time.
More fool you if you think Egon will be satisfied with your sorry excuses. You know what happens to those who refuse to pay.
Leave this man alone at once. You're under arrest.
We'll see about that. And who will stop us? We are the Guard.
You certainly don't deserve such a name. Bunch of cowards.
Yield without a fuss, and you'll have the right to a trial.
Really? And then it'll be the gallows. Do you think we're pushovers?
To my help! And death to the others!
Bit of poison on my blade. Then let's go!
Things are about to get dicey! Green blood!
Let's see if you can ward off this fate!
I'm eternally grateful, Your Excellency. You saved my trade. And my life.
Stay alert. Their leader was obviously not present.
I heard about the man with the silver coin, but this is the first time they told me his name.
If they let it escape, it was only because they were thinking of killing you.
I beg you, find this Egon and stop him. None of us will be safe as long as he's free.
Don't worry. I don't intend to let him go.
They were dressed like normal ruffians, but they had not been afraid to openly talk about being with the coin guard. That level of confidence meant that this was bigger than just a few greedy soldiers. That coin and that note spoke of a structure and a leader.
We must find this Egon. At the barracks, perhaps.
I doubt our man goes openly by that name. It is the silver coin we must look for.
So, men, how's it going?
Everything's fine, Lieutenant.
Nothing to report? All our friends are quiet?
Perfectly quiet. As soon as they hear about a silver coin, they start trembling.
Good. It would be a shame to have to make another example of them, right?
Oh, there's no need, Lieutenant. They've been as sweet as lambs since Renault's accident.
Accidents happen so quickly. I'm waiting for another delivery today. Have you seen your comrades?
No, they must have stopped at the tavern on the way. As soon as we see them, we'll send them your way, Lieutenant.
I hope those idiots aren't drinking my dew.
No one would dare do that to you, Lieutenant.
I hope not. Or I'll have to remind them that the silver coin can shake everyone, even the guards. Well, I'll leave you. I have urgent business to attend to. Now, don't forget to send me those drunkards.
Farewell, Lieutenant.
There is no doubt. Here is our man. Let's follow him discreetly.
The silver coin again. And this organization seems to be able to enforce its will on the coin guard itself. That meant that they were deeply embedded in the guard and must be of substantial size. The lieutenant was no fool. He kept checking his rear. But their Sardet was savvy enough to break his line of sight, while still remaining close enough to tail him.
Who are you? You're following me?
Indeed. We would like to talk to you about the silver coin, Egon.
Egon? You must be mistaken. I don't know anyone by that name.
Don't take us for fools. We heard you speak with your men.
I don't know what you've heard, but you're wrong. I'm not Egon.
Regardless, you were implicated in a murder and in the extortion of merchants. You are therefore under arrest. And we will finish by having you tell us who Egon is and where to find him.
Oh yes, we'll see about that.
Bit of poison on my blade. And let's go!
Move away! Things are about to get dicey! Move away! Things are about to get dicey!
See if you can ward off this fate!
Things are about to get dicey!
He had a lot of men and was a tough individual in his own right. But eventually Sarde's team managed to bring him to heel.
So, have you finally decided to follow us?
So you can torture me. You can do whatever you want. I'll not tell you anything. I don't know who Egon is. I'm just a middleman. You're wasting your time.
You must know more than you're willing to say. Come on.
I'd rather die.
Bit of poison on my blade. Then let's go! To my head! And death to the others!
Let's see if we can ward off this fate!
Move away! Things are about to get dicey!
I need healing!
The silver coin. His symbol of recognition. I have to show it to Manfred.
The problem was that he kept his silence to the end. They had several clues, the silver coin and the name Egon, but otherwise they were stuck at a dead end.
I conducted my investigation on the extortion organized by certain members of the Guard. I think I've put an end to it, at least temporarily. Unfortunately, I had to kill some of them as they were about to attack a merchant. But there are still some other soldiers involved that I should tell you about.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I will have these men arrested immediately. These foolish brutes not only harm your merchants, but the entire reputation of the Guard. But you said you've only put an end to it temporarily. What makes you think this criminality might resume?
Their leader is still on the loose. They call him Egon, although I doubt it's his real name. I got hold of one of his lieutenants. He was carrying a silver coin, which seems to be a symbol of recognition between the gang members. But the man preferred to die rather than tell us anything about his leader.
Loyalty? Or terror?
Terror, I fear. From the merchants to the guards, everyone seems to tremble in front of this Egon.
I don't know any guard of that name, but as you said, it's probably a pseudonym. And rest assured that I will conduct a thorough investigation on my side. I'll also make sure that in future the City Guard is made up only of men of trust.
Thank you. I will return to see how your investigation is going. I don't take this matter lightly.
This would be a good test of Manfred's true colors, and she'd warned him that he was, in her own way. All this combat had increased her skills. She knew that evading damage by rolling would allow her to stay in combat for longer. And improving her marksmanship was still a goal at this point. The silver coin wasn't intending to sit idly by though, as they brazenly ambushed her right outside the barracks. They didn't fear anything it seems, not even death, so that might simply mean that they were more afraid of Egon than of dying.
Ward off this feint! Let's see if you can ward off this feint!
Move away!
Dieter's girls are gone. Your guard should get a good night's sleep now.
You should go. I'll wait here as planned. I can't risk getting caught there.
Don't worry. I'll make sure not to hurt anyone.
And if they'd done their task, the key should have been stashed in one of the crates outside. Traversing the warehouse itself was straightforward, as long as she avoided stepping on the sleeping bodies.
I was able to recover your file, Vasco. And nobody saw me.
Wonderful. You did everything perfectly. So I was right. My real name is Leandra, son of the Darcy family from Serene. Nobles, I suppose.
Yes. I must admit that I had no idea they had given a son to the Nauts.
To think that I spent my childhood polishing ship bridges when I could have been wearing silk.
I'm sorry for you, Vasco. But growing up in nobility is not as simple as it sounds.
Really? Well, whatever. I've learnt my real name thanks to you, and that's what I wanted.
Leandra Darcy. I remember coming across a Darcy at my uncle's court. Your brother, no doubt.
My brother? What was he like?
It was a long time ago. We were children. I couldn't tell you what he looks like today.
A brother? I wonder if we are alike despite our completely different lives. Thank you for sharing this and for telling me about him. You gave me back my identity. This is more important than the Nauts care to admit.
So, it seems that Vasco was a fellow Serene noble.
Do you wish you were never given to the Nauts?
How could I not be regretful? I never got to experience a mother's love or a lavish youth.
Don't you have any happy memories?
I do, of course I do. For example, I remember the first time I climbed up the shrouds. The incredible view, the dizziness, the sensation of complete freedom. It was an unforgettable moment.
I can only imagine how you felt. But it sounds amazing.
It was. I wouldn't trade that memory for all the gold in the world. Thank you to Sardet. You've given me a lot to think about.
Had you ever heard about the Darcys before?
No, I had not. As you know, there are many noble families in Serene, and there was a time when a lot of them had to give a child to the Nauts.
I am certain that they would be very proud to see that their son is now a famous captain.
I doubt it. Once we're taken away from our homes, we become anonymous. The nobility see the Nauts as nothing more than a necessary evil. We are no longer their children.
Unfortunately, he was right about his family no longer seeing him as part of them. Kurt also looked pensive.
You seemed really attached to Rainer.
He brought some memories back. I was a bit like him at his age, and I felt responsible for his well-being. After all, I recruited him. Why? Don't tell me you're jealous of this poor kid.
He put on a tough and dangerous demeanor. But Sardet knew that that had more to do with him knowing nothing else since he was a small child.
Don't be foolish. It's just that you seemed so hurt about everything he went through. I wanted to understand how you felt.
That's kind. I'm sorry I made that stupid comment. This whole matter makes me nervous. I should have known that you were far too subtle to feel like that.
You told me that you enlisted at a very young age. But do you have any pleasant memories of your childhood?
Some, yes. Why? What kind of memories were you thinking about?
Tell me about a happy memory of yours. A memory that makes you smile.
I have a few sweet but blurry memories of my wet nurse. I remember her smell of crushed flowers and herbs. But when I try to remember something happy, it's the memory of a later event that stirs. The memory of a day when we skipped training to go for a swim in the river. It was spring. We waded for a good part of the afternoon into a marvelous little cold stream, running over a bed of round pebbles. Isn't it odd that that appears to be my happiest memory?
No. It was a moment of freedom. You were carefree. I guess that's why you remember it.
You're right. Since that day, there hasn't been much room in my life for being carefree.
Sardet, Vasco and Kurt all seem to have a common factor of unresolved issues from the various upbringings. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments. Feel free to leave a like, subscribe and hit the bell button to be notified when new videos come out. See you soon.